Mikrofon podcast ini ditaja oleh Muzik Bliss Sdn Bhd. Model DT770 Pro ini sangat selesa untuk digunakan dalam tempoh masa yang lama. Menghasilkan bunyi yang profesional, dapat membezakan di antara bunyi persekitaran dan bunyi yang dihasilkan. Gunakan promo kod yang tertera untuk sebarang pembelian barangan Bayer Dynamic di website musicbliss.com. RM50 off untuk 100 pelanggan terawal. Terima kasih Muzik Bliss Sdn Bhd. Produk larutan atau dikenali sebagai cecair analyte, bahan antiseptik yang mampu membasmi kuman tanpa alkohol. Mesra alam dan tidak bertoksik, selamat digunakan oleh kanak-kanak dan haiwan peliharaan. Gunakan promo kod Safelyte LC10 untuk diskaun 10% untuk setiap pembelian di website safelyte.my.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. Saya Zaki Ishak, merupakan audio dan music director di Copaque Production. Okey, kali ini kita bersama dalam sesi LEPAK alias Copaque Podcast. Okey. Tajuk yang akan kita bincangkan pada kali ini adalah OST Orkestra Menambah Baik ataupun Menaik Taraf Filem. Okey. Besar topik ni kan? Tak apa. Nanti kita bincang. Sebelum tu, mari kita berkenalan dengan panel-panel kita. Mereka ni orang-orang yang hebat ni. Okay. So first saya nak memperkenalkan saudara di sebelah kiri saya lah. Encik saudara Andrew Bong. Okay, silalah.
Okay, my name Andrew Bong. Saya dari Sarawak. I have a company, music audio post in LA, Laundry Music. And itu saja lah,
Itu saja.
People know me. And then can kenalkan David.
Kejap. Andrew juga merupakan komposer untuk filem Ipin Keris Yang Tunggal. Kalau pada siapa yang tak tahulah, yang tu nanti kita sentuh kemudian. Okay. Okay. Di sebelah kanan saya di hujung. Okay, Encik David Chua.
Okay, hi. My name is David Chua. I'm from Subang Jaya. I'm a business partner of Andrew Bong. Kita sudah berkenalan 7 tahun, maybe more, plus minus.
Oh, lama
But yeah, born and raised in Subang, based in Los Angeles and America for a good amount of years, around 12 years, 12 tahun. And yeah, now I'm in Shah lah. Let's go Pak.
Amazing, right?
David juga merupakan producer kita punya ni lah, album OST Ipin Keris Yang Tunggal. Okay. Seterusnya kawan di sebelah saya ni, Encik Michael.
Nama saya Michael, biasanya orang panggil saya Mike. Saya merupakan komposer di Copaque Production in-house, salah satu komposer. Dan saya merupakan pencipta lagu Ipin Keris Yang Tunggal, lagu Keris Sakti.
Okay, sekarang ni kita berbalik pada topik kita, iaitu OST Orkestra Menaik Taraf Filem. Okay, saya nak bertanya kepada sahabat kita Andrew dululah. Okay, topik soundtrack ni saya rasa ramai juga yang masih tidak faham atau tidak kenal lagi. So saya nak Encik Andrew untuk explain sikit apa tu soundtrack dan betapa pentingnya penghasilan soundtrack ni dalam sesuatu cerita.
Okay, I banyak orang kan maybe they have their own understanding about soundtrack kan, so banyak confusion pun, in different markets, different country, what is soundtrack. So generally when you say soundtrack kan, people think like Disney, the Frozen, the theme song, right? Let it go. Like all the singing part, like Bollywood is like the whatever happened in the background, the music kan, the underscore. Ramai pun tak tahu. It's just like they don't even know the music's there. Sometimes it's just hiding lah, poking the emotion kan. But when people come dance together and then the soundtrack is good, and then the composer's like, people don't really know the composer behind. So so there's different markets, different country. So to answer your question kan, soundtrack is very important the best thing is when it hides, it doesn't poke out into you. That's the underscore. And then what is very entertaining, what's exciting, soundtrack, basically it's like lagu-lagu. Sometimes there's compilation of different songs they use for the movie, right? Different artists. So you can say that soundtrack. And then another term to use is underscore, the one you don't really know is there, and it pokes the emotion. Sometimes when some music can, like if you watch Christopher Nolan movie, right? Sometimes you cannot hear what the dialogue, what people is talking about, like the music. Oh, yeah, that is underscore Hans Zimmer. Wow, Hans Zimmer style. So there's many answer for you.
So macam mana you dah cakap kan, macam Alzheimer contohnya kan, macam mana kita nak hasilkan soundtrack yang bagus tu?
Good soundtrack is very subjective, to be honest, because of course if you come from LA, like when you watch a lot of Hollywood movies, right, they like very clean sound, and then they talk about mixing from A to Z. They say this is the correct way to do a good soundtrack. It's that bising, and then it kind of work with the movie, not distracting. But for me, my own experience because I'm trying to find my own voice, and also we work in Asia, and like working with with you guys for Upin Yang Tunggal, I think it's an unexplored territory, because we are here to kind of define what's the future of our own genre. And to say what's a good soundtrack, there's a different market for different countries. Good soundtrack is generally you say good composer, experienced composer, and then you have good sound mixing, people who mix the score. You have let's say good musician playing for your music, good singer. It's very subjective, and then you package all this together, good producers, and then you go to awards, good soundtrack.
Okay. So sekarang tadi kita bercakap pasal macam mana nak hasilkan soundtrack yang bagus kan. So saya nak tanya pada Michael macam mana kalau macam contohnya kita ni dah buat muzik yang macam mana kita nak hasilkan skor macam kita ni, kita dah hasilkan muzik yang bagus, tapi cerita tu pula kurang bagus.
Oh, ini sangat interesting sebab selalu tengok drama Melayu kan. Drama Melayu dia ada banyak adegan yang sangat cringe, yang sangat-sangat cringe. Okay. So saya fikir kalau muzik dia bagus, boleh tak dia support yang adegan yang macam tu, yang sangat-sangat suka untuk tengok tu, muzik boleh support tak? Berapa, how many percent can music help very very awkward or cringy scene, or very bad storytelling scenes? I always have that question because how much is the impact? What's the impact? How can music impact a very bad scenes? Or I know kita tahu yang kalau scene bagus, dia complement each other with the good music and good scene. They always complement with each other. But what about a good music and very very bad scenes and not cringy scenes? Do you have any opinion?
You're asking me why?
Macam David ke? Ada input?
Yeah, I think it's subjective. Based on the project, I think every project is different. Sometimes it depends who's the actor, right?
Yeah.
Everything is bad, but if the actor is like famous, people still like it. And sometimes you're very lucky, like everything is just very, very, very bad. But the song somehow win an Oscar. So I also don't know.
So yeah, David, I'm in that situation. I can't disclose some movie I've done, but right now so far the actor is good, everything, but I wouldn't say the movie is bad. It's just sometimes in a project you need good leadership, good director, good communication between the music audio team and the director. So for us, we just pump out the music, and then the producer come to me. So Andrew, I know how the film I know where we are, but I think maybe, not to say like in a bad way, but maybe your soundtrack is our last hope. I wouldn't say I'm a good composer or what, but I think having a good leadership, good team, and etc. are the good qualities to help a project. But we can do as much as we can. But if you're chasing for awards, sometimes it's the glimmer of hope. I think there's a lot of example where the soundtrack really saved the movie.
Betul.
Yalah.
Okay. Topik yang menarik lah. So saya nak tanya David, sekarang ni contohnya kita dah hasilkan muzik yang bagus. Tapi kita untuk menghasilkan muzik yang bagus, kita kena ada komposer yang bagus juga. So macam mana kita nak hasilkan komposer yang bagus?
I think exposure is very important. Like kita sekarang 2022 kan. So a lot of teenagers now growing up, watching shows, and we need to be relevant, right? So if the show is about something that's in today's generation, and who's your audience, right? If your audience is old people, then yeah, you can use the old scholar. But if your audience is new and young and fresh, so I guess you need to find a composer that is exposed to what these people like. And obviously it all boils down to your client lah. No matter what you do, your client not happy, then that's it lah. Your music can be replaced easily, which happens all the time.
Tukar komposer
you compose the music, then because of like political reasons they edit it, the ending become the starting become the credit. So it depends. So all kinds of nonsense happens lah. And yeah, it's subjective, but obviously as a composer yourself, you do your best, your due diligence to research, study all the heroes, the old heroes, the current heroes, and try to be the next one in trend lah, so that you create your new generation of sound, and people can eventually look up to you based on what you're doing.
New generation tu memang betul lah, sebab kita kena ikut current punya ni kan. So macam Andrew kan, macam mana kita nak lahirkan generasi baru pula? Tadi kita cakap pasal
very
composer.
important things to add lah. I think very important is attitude and personality.
Okay.
Be open to new ideas. Who you work with. Don't be self-entitled lah. Don't say like I deserve the award. I'm the best composer. I don't think those are the criteria to be good composer to grow. I think we have to be sensitive human being. Be a bit more entrepreneur, and also be friendly to people. Be humble, kan? So you learn many things. You work with music because this to survive as a composer and make money out of a living, like to make money is already very hard. To get paid is even harder, kan? So the personality to work in a team. When you're the only composer in the film, it doesn't mean you're the composer. You are part of the team. And
Okay, Michael pula. Michael kan macam macam David dengan Andrew dah biasa bekerja di luar kan. Macam saya nak tanya Michael, sebab Michael merupakan komposer Les Copaque. So adakah macam ada dalam sistem pembelajaran kita ke, ada perlu ditambah baik ke untuk bila keluar tu at least sesiapa yang nak jadi komposer ni dia dah get ready sikit.
Maksud Zaki dalam sistem pembelajaran dalam universiti ke sekolah muzik?
Tak kisah, sebab kita macam sebenarnya lagi awal benda tu lagi bagus sebab kita tanamkan minat tu kan, daripada kecil contohnya kan. Tapi macam actually macam you guys pun boleh jawab, tapi saya nak dengar Michael dulu.
Sebenarnya dalam industri ni first minat tentang muzik tu memang actually yang paling senang. Minat pembelajaran dalam muzik tu kena ada minat, dan kedua bila dah keluar dari industri bukan bakat yang paling penting tapi komunikasi dan community network.
Okay.
Jadi sebenarnya kalau kita hebat macam mana pun tapi kita tak kenal siapa-siapa, macam mana kita nak cari job untuk survive? So sebab saya memang kenal ramai kawan yang betul-betul berbakat, tapi sebab tempat yang dia exposure tu memang kurang. Dia nak cari job pun memang susah. Jadi bila cari job susah kita nak kita marketkan diri kita sebagai musician. Nak cari contohnya untuk cari job, untuk dapatkan lebih banyak lagi kenalan.
Mm-hmm.
Selain tu tu je lah.
Menarik tu. Apa macam you cakap macam budak-budak baru macam susah nak dapat job kan. So kalau kita tengok macam Andrew, David sampai ke overseas, dia ada banyak benda yang dia handle. So macam mana tu boleh dapat, and then macam David lah especially, apa yang you rasa perlu ditambah baik kat sini?
Sini means Malaysia.
Ya, Malaysia. Kalau you nak cakap pasal belajar ke, apa yang perlu ditambah? Benda ni saya rasa benda yang bagus sebab you guys dah berjaya di luar.
I think kita sekarang very blessed and fortunate because everything kan social media kan. So there are some things I think we need to be open-minded lah. Talking about jobs. Some jobs you do for money. Some jobs you do for relevance. Right? So yes, there are some jobs that you take that might not pay enough, but to be relevant in the industry, and you have to be an open mind, because in the end of the day, it's a relationship game. It's about who you know, and who you know knows who you know, and who you know knows eventually the person that is going to hire you. So you want to get to that position yesterday, not 50 years from now. Yeah. So how fast you climb the ladder is also as important, not just how much you earn, because you can earn 1 gig, and that 1 gig would literally pay you as though like you work for a corporate company for 50 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, one big client, that's it. You know, but you cannot be kata di bawah tempurung lah. Doesn't mean you get that 1 gig.
Macam kita kat sini lah kan.
And then you comfy. Once you comfy, and then you know you're king of Malaysia, and then you sit down for the next 50 years, then your future generation koyak lah. So even though you got a big gig, you still have to be humble. You got to like still push your boundaries and push yourself. So how you do that? Now you're living in social media, everything is online, kan? So your biggest competition is yourself. You want to always compete to be better every second, every day. After you got this big gig, okay, that's yesterday. What's tomorrow? You know how to be better and how to just push your envelope, how to grow faster.
Ya, bagus tu sebab macam you cakap, macam dia lebih kepada your passion, buatkan you push yourself untuk lebih berjaya di luar, tapi pada masa yang sama you menaikkan nama Malaysia. Kan? So, bagus tu. Macam
world domination.
Yeah.
World domination.
How about you, Andrew? Macam you from Sarawak and then you now in LA?
I want to be in more country. So I always tell David, like, world domination. Malaysia's done. Memang lah, because I think if we feel comfortable is a place where I want to push, because like even in terms of market, it's not that we, like for me, I like to be the very best, but to set an example for my career to other people constructively, like how it's done. So I'm very open to share how things are done. So let's say, Malaysia is very small. Any filmmakers, you Google, everyone's here, kan? It's not that mysterious. So when you think, okay, you have this clientele information, what you want to do about it, it's fine, just move on. And when you start growing outside, then you want to draw attention from other people, from other countries, investors, artists, whatever, to Malaysia. And that benefits my business, me and David and everyone around also, because the narrative is, it's easier to build on where you are, where like orang Sarawak kan, I'm Sarawakian. So I use that narrative, to work with my Sarawak client. Like we have new TV station, we have new company, we have our own M-Deck, S-Deck. So sometimes we work with them and then we have see more things outside, we bring back, and then we knowledge transfer. That's what Haji Buhan's favorite word lah, so they don't walk down the wrong path or throw their money in the wrong hole. It's always a hole. You don't know what will come out. Yeah, technically.
Bagus lah sebab macam you pun, macam you banyak kerja kat luar tapi you still balik Sarawak, contribute. It's good. Okay. So untuk berbalik pada kerja kan, macam komposer ni, macam buat muzik ni, selalu saya dengar macam you guys macam lagi selesa kerja sendiri. Kan kita ada dengar kan, macam ada komposer yang macam we cannot work with macam others. So macam apa you rasa yang kita boleh macam bagi input pada means new composer kan. Macam
Yeah, maybe I'll take this question and lepas tu I bagi Mike. I think he has good input too. So like for me, I come from two school of thoughts. Like David is from LA, but for me, my mentor, I was lucky to meet her. She's a Japanese composer, Michiru Oshima. She did like Godzilla, Full Metal Alchemist, many things. And then her biggest advice to me also when she like I have question about film composer deals, kan, and lepas tu like when it comes to composing, because she knows I'm in LA, I'm in America. So she always tell me, Andrew, you have to do it on your own. Even before I started Upin, I was doing other project. You have to do it on your own. I'm like, but it's not. You're tempted to like in LA, can you hire many people, and then they start writing music. You just look there, goyang kaki. No, I'm just joking. But it's. I think to answer your question, as a composer, you need to have good leadership, and regardless how you want to get it done. Like David, I learned a lot of things from David. You delegate the work, get it done, but as long as you think you're respectful to everyone in the work, right, is a better way of doing. I've met composer who wants to do everything on their own and they tenggelam, like they sunk because they couldn't deliver the project on time, or let's say the turnover rate is not great. The one reason I think Hans Zimmer he's a very successful composer is because let's say they finish a cue, the director don't like it. And then the director say, we want this done, and Hans, in few hours or even less than a day, they get it done. It's not like a normal 2 or 3 piece music. It might be like quarter of the movie. Who knows? He has those output. That's why client will always go back to him, and they don't say a single. They don't complain. Also, I think it's nothing like rewriting.
Macam bila kita diberi kerja, kita kena buat yang sehabis baik lah.
Yeah, I think I get more jobs because I don't fight with my client.
Sometimes we need to fight.
Yeah, I think so. Also, something I'm learning. So maybe Mike has an idea because I'm curious about Mike too. Because I think for Les Copaque, you guys have I would say it's a campus because you have three to four composers, kan, and it's rare to see like many composers working together. It's the hardest thing to put composers in one room. Ego, right, David? Ego and all sorts of stuff. So maybe Mike has a take on it, and maybe I want to hear David, kan? Yeah.
Macam Mike dah biasa bekerja kan, sebab kita kat Copaque kita ada 4 orang in-house composer. Okay, Mike?
Ya, sebenarnya tak ada satu approach yang objektif lah. Untuk jadi composer ni dia boleh jadi, he wants to work alone, or he has to be working collaboratively. Tapi dalam industri film scoring, kalau music composer for media, I think kita paling penting kena communication sangat penting, sebab kita kena selalu communicate dengan director. Kalau kita nak buat film tapi nak buat shot sendiri je, tapi director macam kalau you buat film tu buat music, the music is so good, I think the director will like it for sure. But after you preview the music with the director and the director says this is not the right music, that's what Andrew says, the ego. So if the director said your music is wrong or your music doesn't fit the scene, so your ego will hurt if you everybody can understand that, because every composer has their own ego.
Betul.
Tapi itulah yang saya kata, kalau you film composer, you kena macam mana pun you kena belajar untuk have the collab punya spirit. Tak boleh in your own world you think your music is good.
Betul. Sebab kita teamwork kan. Kita kena tak kisah benda tu right or wrong. Dia
berbeza dengan songwriter yang macam Prince, yang dia orang buat lagu sendiri, semua dia buat sendiri. Michael Jackson, whether you like it or not, this is my music.
Betul. Memang ada yang orang kata selesa bekerja sendiri dan berjaya kan.
Yeah.
David manage banyak artis.
Dia
a lot of stories.
Yeah, saya pun nak sambung topik ni juga, tapi saya nak tambah macam ego tu plus macam mana you macam dapat gig kan, macam dapat gig dengan big names. You boleh cerita sikit dengan siapa, sebab kita kat sini pun nak tahu, sebab you selalu keluar tau. Macam nak jumpa je macam dekat US, dekat Europe, dekat China. Macam
mysterious
so,
man.
Macam very busy man.
He's mysterious.
Kan. Tapi kita nak tahu macam mana you dapat bekerja dengan macam orang besar, orang yang nama besar.
Pretty easy lah. Know your client. Know your client, know what they want, and it's not about you. It's always how about how you can add value to them, their company, their wife, their kids, how you can give them more time, how you can earn them 10 times their revenue, you know. So you have to do your homework. You have to figure out what's that hole in that gap in their company and how you can help expand their company from a musical standpoint, from a brand standpoint. And yeah, sometimes, yes, maybe you can achieve that alone, but maybe you need to bring other people as a team to achieve that situation so you get that gig, not just for one-off. Because it's always a consistent 10-year relationship. If your client win, you win together. Yeah. So knowing your client is very important. What kind of client, what's their purpose in this gig? Is the gig important ke? Or there's like, you know, something that is a bigger purpose, a 5-year plan down the road. So knowing that kind of situation will help you answer the question lah, on how you should submit your proposal or submit your songs or submit 20 songs at the same time or submit one song or one score or five different composers of different kind of genre. So they have options and they can make a decision in 3 seconds. Yeah. So this is the same for any project. Yeah.
So recently you involved dengan projek apa? Dengan artis mana?
So today I actually released something with TikTok actually. TikTok released a new streaming platform called Chishui, which is coming out next week. And I was the guy that put the whole music situation together for the launch of the app.
Okay.
So that was one that one happened yesterday lah. Also in America, a lot of projects. I got to work with Bruno. Yeah, Bruno and his team. We are launching a few different things now. Also NDA cannot share yet.
Yeah.
You know.
Dia contoh kan macam you sebut like macam this big artist kan. Macam mana you work with them?
How I work with them?
Yeah, macam mana?
So it's actually through friendships because industry in Hollywood kan very small. Like it or not, everybody knows everybody eventually. Like I work with labels kan. So like United Talent Agency ke, Universal Music ke, Sony Music ke. And you know all these guys after 1 year, 2 year they quit and they jump. You know, so Sony jumped to another agency, Spotify jumped to Warner. So eventually I know everyone because they're all like introducing friends of friends. You know, artists pun jump from agency to agency and label to label. 1 minute they're working for this artist, another minute they leave. So I got direct contact with the artist, and this artist somehow joined label, and their label also got 20 different artists. So all you need is one person in Interscope, and you literally can work from Billie Eilish to Kendrick Lamar to literally the whole roster because you know one agent. Yeah, so it's very small. And once you go to that party, bam, everybody is there.
Party.
You got to show up lah. You know, you got to show up that you're there and you're still alive in the industry. You know, people won't remember you.
I see.
Okay. Means macam kena build connection tu.
Build connection is one thing. Keeping that connection is another thing, and don't burning that bridge. So you know, being a nice guy comes a long way. Yeah, don't simply talk. If you want to talk, then how to sweet talk. You know, don't say the wrong things. Say the right things at the right time. And know that there's every time and place for everything lah.
Okay, good point. Macam mana? Macam do you have any like macam tips or macam apa, macam mana nak apa yang macam kita yang dekat sini local scene kan, macam apa yang perlu kita tambah baik atau belajar?
Banyak lah.
Banyak. Contoh?
Know who you are. Okay. I mean, first things first. Love what you do, right? Or figure that out. Like try to find people that are 50 tahun, 60 tahun, legendary people that you look up to, that you, if you close your eyes, you can imagine your life like them day to day, right? So take that and 5 other people and rojakkan. So that's you, right? So get inspiration first. Figure out what you want to do and what makes you happy. Because from that place of happiness, then it comes passion, then there's come hard work. If you're working hard for something that you don't like, that's called wasting time. Right? In that day is us versus time. Everybody got 24 hours, 7 days a week. Right? So by the time you're 30, you better figure things out lah. And then if not, you're going to figure things out when you're 40, which is a bit you know, you got a wife, you eventually have a kid.
Yeah.
Life is not all about you anymore,
Betul.
right? Your time is your wife time and your kids time. So you have to juggle a bit priorities. Cannot party that much lah. Network, which is a huge important thing in entertainment industry.
Betul.
Or composer is who you know, right? So you got to like, you know, do emails, like still compose, figuring out like, you know, do pitching, party a bit, networking a bit.
Tip.
Yeah,
Get someone like
yeah,
David.
that's why I asked.
Or party together. Then eventually, you know, that's how you build relationships as a team. So your friends are my friends, my friends are your friends, and in 5 years down the road, because we are still friends, we make more friends together lah.
So yang penting berbalik pada you cakap balik, humble kan, be nice. So people will remember you and always contact you.
Because your talent and your relationship, right, will always grow, you know.
Yeah.
But your character, that one, if you don't work on it, it's gonna be the same today, tomorrow, and forever.
Yeah.
So if people don't like you, that's it.
Betul lah.
Auntie Hajar.
Hajar Ainun.
First time meet David, already remember him.
It's the hair lah.
No, it's like
dia macam ada banyak colour. Macam one day kita jumpa dia blue.
the character also cute, nice,
Yeah,
genuine.
betul.
That's what Hajar say lah. So it's good. Trust is important.
And you have to eat her curry chicken lah. Then she happy also.
Okay. Oh, curry chicken itu dekat
LA,
LA,
masak.
right?
Uncle
Okay.
masak.
Betul. Okay, bercakap tentang LA. Before this kita selalu dengar tentang macam cerita uncle macam mana movie Ipin Keris Zaman Tunggal ni kita bawa sampai ke Oscar dan terpilih antara 32. Kita shortlisted untuk animation, best animation, dan itu memang suatu yang rasanya bukan banggakan Leskopak juga, tapi untuk Malaysia juga. So mungkin ramai yang tak tahu ataupun ada yang dah tahu David juga was involved kan dalam Oscar, macam mana kita ke sana. So David, boleh cerita sikit?
I answer a bit already lah. It's all about kawan-kawan in the industry kan. Eventually, if you live there for a good amount of time, your kawan-kawan all also level up with you kan. All starting out graduate students, then after that all they work in company. Then after that, because you kind of network together, you build relationships. Some in Grammy, some in Oscar, some in Emmys. So through relationships, you learn lah about the whole entire industry. So, you know, from music industry, I dabble into everything lah. You know, what's PR, what's marketing, what's putting tours together, how to like finance films, how to invest in films. So one thing led to another. And then somehow Ipin came, and it was perfect timing lah, because Andrew, fellow Malaysian, pun my kawan kan. So see, kawan again. It's all about kawan.
I saw his picture at my school with Mr. Tony Fernandez and our president. So I thought, because that was the same time I left my old business partner, you know, and then like I want someone new, someone who can complement the business side relationship. So I sent him a long email, which I shouldn't, or long message. But he teaches me a lot of things. Meaning working with someone like him, I told him I want someone to manage my clientele, relationship, to keep it and even make it better. So yeah.
Macam mana? Macam dalam during promotion UXT ni kan, Upin Keris Zaman Tunggal ni, you guys tiba-tiba macam you guys kata you guys kawan dah lama. And then before this I tak pernah jumpa David kan. And then suddenly macam okay, I introduce David and tu.
Because he belum masuk LA yet.
I after I know David, I said, okay, it's fine, I can move to LA. Because
before this you dekat Boston, right?
yeah, because
okay.
LA is a very cutthroat business, even with other Malaysians. Competition.
No, not just Malaysians lah. Everyone, because everyone's struggling, is hustling. You know, but the longer you are in it, it gets easier lah, right? Because everybody is climbing up, like so your resume pun grow kan, and people look at you differently. People recommend you, because last time you need to, hi, my name is David, you know. But after a while, be like, hey David, meet my friend here, meet my friend this, you know. So things get easier over time.
Yeah, macam uncle atau Tuan Haji Muhyiddin, dia ada bagi tahu macam nak dapatkan panel kan untuk Oscar ni. I mean you yang work hard for it.
It's all
I mean,
kawan-kawan also.
how you macam memang kawan, tapi kawan kadang-kadang tak support kawan.
Yeah.
Kan? Dia macam macam mana you convince kan macam I ada cerita from Malaysia. Sometimes people don't know Malaysian. Macam mana you?
Because I'm Malaysian lah, so they know me.
Okay, your friend lah.
Honestly, in a long run, right, it's trust, right?
Okay.
It's trust, and if you're in the industry for a long time, like because people refer you, like for example, nobody can just snap their fingers. Okay, I want to work with like this person or that person right away. They usually ask you, like, can you refer me someone that can kind of verify you that like you are good and won't con me and cheat my money. I also China fella, right? Straight away they think I'm from China. So why would they want to work with China at the time? Like, the whole crazy politician situation just happened. So it's usually referral. So sometimes even through email or like in-person meeting. In-person is usually better. So they see you face to face, and I have another white friend or a black friend that like introduced me to someone, say, hey, this is my friend David. He's like work with this and this, and like he's from this company, he's been doing this. Very good person to meet, KL, or from the other side of town. Like he's based there, but has been doing a lot of projects in Southeast Asia. So do that times 100 times, then literally you're good lah. Yeah, but that comes through time. And if you party a lot, you meet the same faces all the time. Yeah.
Bagi familiar lah macam.
Yeah, and if you don't know that one person, the other person probably will know that one person, and eventually we are all gonna be friends, and we all see each other at the same party again. Yeah, so referrals are so important. That's why, back to your question, when I want to pull stuff together, it's all about who referred you, or like I've seen you like multiple times already. I know you work with this other producer, this other director recommended me to you, and I know you're good. Like if you say one, it's going to be one. If you say two, it's going to be two. If you say they're like number one animation IP in Southeast Asia, I'm going to believe you. Not to do research. Cannot research anyway. It's a whole different language.
Betul.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
So macam Ipin kan, macam untuk diorang yang macam especially yang never heard about Ipin, apa yang you rasa macam apa yang comment diorang or input diorang after diorang watch the film?
Oh, they all love it. Yeah. They all really, really love it and enjoyed it. I mean, honestly, it's the first time something like this ever happened.
So you kat sana kan, you lagi tahu. I mean, dia real punya feedback.
I mean, because for me, like I grew in KL, right? So for a Malaysia IP that managed to do this kind of stuff, it's like aku pun bangga lah, right? And I always say lah, and then the music ke, makan ke, everything is taste. If you know it's good, you won't just like give a nasi lemak that's from, I don't want to name that country, but from like another country, or like you need to know, right? If in Shah which nasi lemak is good, bad, or amazing, right? And then when you deliver that product, you pun bangga because you like love it, and you confirm if an American eat that, they're gonna be wow. Okay. Right? So the same thing with Ipin. They're already number one. So I know people are gonna love it. They just need to see it.
Yeah,
right?
Kita pun buat macam part of like production Ipin pun. Kita buat bukan macam buat for macam saja. Kita tahu kita memang buat sehabis baik. Sebab kita nak naikkan lagi industri ni kan. Bukan sekadar macam hantar dekat macam any award punya ni kan. Kita expect macam macam kita tahu kita punya level, which is bagus. That's why kita berani bawa keluar.
And first impression very important lah, right? So I'm very glad, I'm very happy. Obviously more to come. But for something like this to happen, susah lah, It's not that easy, not just in film, but in music or in anything. So for, an IP to travel half across the world to a brand new audience, bear in mind, maybe all the consulate from Malaysia came lah, but like 90% are all like people that has no idea where Malaysia is,
Betul.
And it's in a festival, so it's like they come there, they go there not just for that one situation, it's for like multiple films also, and for an exposure like this, it's a first stepping stone,
So waktu tu lah yang you makan kari tu.
That one was the night before.
Uncle,
yeah.
Right?
I mean, Zaki, everything is connected. Human beings, not about the work. It's not about my work. Also, like when we finished the Upin, we premiere kan the GSC. So I posted that, like on Facebook. And then me and David, we haven't talked for years. Busy, like he's a busy person. I don't touch him.
Kita semua busy.
But when he comment on my page, he's like, my father also like Ipin. That's how I remember him. Yeah, it's funny because it's Ipin. If it's me, he will not comment.
So at that night, I heard that kiranya you tak party kat luar lah, you party dengan dekat
No lah,
rumah.
I bring everybody to the party lah. Then after that we go home and makan a bit. After party.
Small party kat rumah kan.
Zaki kat Korea.
I pergi Korea. So okay, so bila kita cakap pada big award ni kan, macam kita pergi macam Oscar ke Grammy ke kan, adakah award ni penting bagi komposer?
Betul. I mean, very important. Yeah. It's all about marketing, right? It's all marketing, branding. It gives you value and it makes you stand out. Yeah, and you have to keep pushing that. If not, you're just another one out there lah, right? There's a huge difference why people pay, fine dining and like just normal mamak, right? They pay the price for that. And because of that, like the brand becomes big and people talk about it. So I think it's important for the business lah.
Okay. Macam mana nak compete in this industry, I mean music? Ya, semua orang nak award kan? Tapi macam mana you nak compete?
Associating yourself with all the number ones and trying to be different. I think very important. But also do your research. Know how to stand out. Right? Be different a bit. But associating yourself also is very important with number one people.
Kita ada bekerja dengan like big names untuk macam mixing. I mean from Hollywood, right? So macam mana you dapatkan that macam people, you gather the people to involve in this project?
I mean, also same answer, just to a different question. They're all kawan-kawan. So after being in Hollywood for a long time, like some of these guys, I are same bandmates. Go to church together or go to school together. Eventually we level up together, and one thing leads to another lah. And all these guys, that work for Upin, I want to bring more onto the table. Just right timing, because every season has this growth. You cannot put all eggs in one basket after not enough for the next basket. Kan? So slowly grow lah, one thing at a time. So for the first project, I just thought, how I can add value to this project. So that's how it happened lah.
Satoshi Mark
and Dale Becker.
Dale Becker, Grammy mastering engineer.
Yeah. Banyak
and also it's a good thing for them. Now they know who Malaysia is, they know what Ipin is. They also share on their social media. And the more we do this, like it's a small community. Everybody knows everybody. Satoshi works with every single composer too out there, every single director out there, and every single PR person. So we're all friends. Eventually, it's just rubbing shoulder with one another lah.
Suddenly like we macam
the world is big but small.
Betul. Macam suddenly macam our names like together, right?
For mixing, we have to go to his studio, the mixing engineer.
When?
No, then we can like minum makan.
New York.
Yeah.
Maybe
one step at a time lah.
Maybe we can talk to uncle lah. Kan? Kita buat kerja kan? Okay. So macam bila kita dah hasilkan OST ni kan, macam mana kita dalam market orkestra, sebab kita hasilkan live orchestra, right, untuk this movie Upin Kreasi Zaman Tunggal. Macam mana kita nak hasilkan music tu ikut trend semasa, macam different, macam generation different style kan, macam music, style music, tapi macam dalam segi orkestra. So ada siapa nak jawab ke? Andrew?
I think can combine me and Mike combo so get the best answer.
Okay.
So from my background kan, like we always, for any movie, we try to first, if it's a feature film, we try to negotiate for full orchestra, no samples, and then you write traditional music can, and then you record with the orchestra. But for Upin, we cannot do that because it's not only orchestra. You want gambus with the orchestra.
Oh,
you
yang
want
tu kita sebut kemudian.
No,
kita sentuh
no.
kemudian.
review first a bit.
Okay.
So, and then Upin Keris yang tunggal, right? I thought is a, you know, when you see budak kampung and all this, right? Not to say budak, but you know,
Betul lah,
in
Upin
Keris yang tunggal, you have this fantasy world. So I thought is a small scale movie, kan? But after you first few minutes, you work in, and then you guys bought footage over the years, R&D, and it's like, oh, things get bigger and bigger. So orchestral sound doesn't really, you know, the traditional, so sample hybrid can, you use sample, computer sample, you combine with orchestra. And that kind of concept is out there in LA already, and many modern compositions. So it's kind of relevant, can, so you get the fresh sounding. It's more clean, the sound with, you know, mixing engineer. It's not only orchestra where you get recording, when you record them, a lot of noise and things like that. Sometimes sample are clean because they clean. Like for a lot of the Ipin work that your team, you know, Mike, you know, and you compose, right? Mostly is relying on samples, right? And the output. It sounds fresh in certain areas also. So there's a market for everything. Yeah.
Okay, macam tadi Andrew dah cakap tentang Upin kan. Okay, kita macam bagi memory lane sikit lah. Okay, macam mana kita boleh work together kan. At first from soundtrack, datang office, visit office, and then sebenarnya dari situlah kita dapat kenal Andrew. Tapi Andrew kita tak jumpa macam face to face. Kita like a few years kan, kita contact.
Few years I'm not real for Zaki.
We talk a lot but kita tak face each other. So macam mana kita boleh bekerjasama? Your story.
Yeah, we become friends. That's the most important. Like to elaborate quickly, when I first went to the States, I was like, before going to the States, I was working as a piano teacher. 2 years. I finished my A levels. I like to be a doctor, but I didn't want, so 2 years piano, and then I went to Boston, Berklee College of Music, meet many friends. 2011. So that's the same time, you know, like, you know, when Ipin first have, you know, have their breakthrough on the cinema and all this thing happening. I was just a kid lah, don't really know what's happening.
Muda lagi.
You guys are working overtime, pumping out the animation. Like, we didn't know this kind of movements happening in Malaysia. So fast forward, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, that's I was working with in Boston, you know, with my my other partner, old partner, following the soundtrack. I was trying to help them to build their business also, you know, introduce them to big clientele, you know, like anime, like record in Japan and stuff. So we exchange information, and then you know, I think they went to Japan, I think the company, and that's where, you know, Ipin, you know, you guys cross path. So I know that you guys, you know, find different composers, you know, demo kan semua tu.
Yeah, yang tu macam finding the right composer tu another story lah, so dia panjang.
Yeah, okay.
Tapi
so,
kita go to
long story short lah, you know, they approach me. They say there's this animation company from Malaysia. They say we, in the good light, to say like, oh, we don't handle it because they handle AAA project, you know, like big projects, big animation stuff. So for them is like, maybe this is just a subsidiary kind of small stuff, and they think they don't want to handle it because they're busy, you know. So they told me like, Andrew, why not you do it? I'm like, okay, sure, I'll just do the demo, no worries. So
waktu tu you buat demo apa?
The demo, wah,
Shah, right? The part of
belum lagi the Shah lepas,
is
like the Upin jump out from the reban.
Oh, the scene 1.
Act 1.
Scene 1 dalam Act 1.
And also the other big demo was the Raja Bersiong. Yeah, fighting and that part. Yeah, that was a demo. That was the real.
Right.
I think maybe that was the demo that where they come back to me and say, you know, the client like it.
Yeah, the darkness trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, we start since 2016, right?
Long time, yes.
Like 4 years.
17, 16, yes.
We released the movie
when Mike
to
yeah,
2019.
Yes, it was a long journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a long journey. Okay, so macam you start buat kan, macam bila you dapat that task, adakah macam you rasa macam apa, burden ke, excited ke, I mean buat for Upin Ipin? Scared. Yeah, kita nak dengar lah.
So to elaborate, it's a Nusantara genre, and then I research, I listen to all gamelan stuff, all sorts of things. I tried many things. Don't know lah. That's the thing. I don't know.
So macam
meaning the feeling is exciting,
betul.
but you don't know what it is.
Okay.
Like maybe can I make this more famous, or more interesting to other people, and people will accept it. And as well as can other people picked on that and then worked on top of it in the future, like like something that the music can be explainable to people or things like that lah, so I'm a bit more.
I think the real challenge is blending traditional instrument, Malay traditional with the modern orchestra.
The pitch and everything also is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. So macam apa, macam you cakap you macam afraid kan, nervous. Adakah macam buat something new? Itu part of it. Macam you biasa buat live action, and then suddenly you kena buat animation.
And also 3 directors.
Yeah.
Very challenging because 3 acts, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And then like
Three directors.
and not only that, there are songs, and it's not about me at the end of the day. It's about the project, right? And so the project is there's a lot of layer of complexity, because you don't want the focus of the music usually is easy if you have one theme, one character. The whole music you just throw using one theme. That's the Hollywood way of doing things. Okay, meaning like Hans Zimmer give his composer advice and become successful composer doing Mulan and all this. All of them are his assistant, right? So they say when you get lost, you just use the theme and just goreng, rojak. It still works. Lazy way of doing it, but when you do that, you never go wrong, right? Even your serious
Smart approach.
yeah, your composers survive because of that. For any composers, for them too, they're amazing in terms of a team. That's why it's easy for a team to work together, because you give a theme, like the melody and stuff. So, but for Ipin is the hardest project. Even until today, I feel it's still the most challenging one, because it's not, you guys not only touch on Ipin, the story. If a bit spoiler sikit, like you beginning like Batu Bela, like what's Batu Bela, and then Raja Pesyong, and then what? Bawang Merah, thank you. The song Save It, no score. And then what else? Nakotarak.
You buat all the scores, right? Apa?
But at least the song, it's kind of like once you have a song, it's a different thing, right? When you have a song, it becomes the anchor for the film as well, and you kind of try to navigate around it, so you don't want to overpower the song. So there's a lot of, so it's not one thing like from the beginning, that would like to know how to do everything. It's a process. You start to find your way, and that's how I answer your question. You find your way doing it with everybody, working with everybody.
Okay. Macam tadi dah ada apa? Live action, lepas tu different dengan animation kan. Macam Mike pula kan, before join Last Copaque, you involved dengan advertisement punya company kan. So apa different, macam bila buat style berbeza?
Dulu saya kerja di advertising company. Saya bekerja sebagai sound engineer. Jadi saya punya bila kita dah siapkan satu output, audio semua dah mixing, semua dah record, dan kita akan deal dengan client, asking for client's feedback. And there are many hierarchy, many levels of directors, and then you have directors, you have creative directors, you have the biggest client on top of that, like Petronas, like the other creative director in-house, ada creative director lagi bawah, atas tu. So there are many levels. After the creative director, you have the biggest client, the Petronas there. So like I think they will understand it, because you have to deal so many levels of like project manager, something like that. Dan kadang-kadang the works sangat tiring sebab it's always back and forth and dia orang punya deadline memang I want it now. Saya bayar this kind of amount ni, I want it fast. So sometimes we have to overnight kerja tunggu feedback dari klien. And always email back and forth, call. Kerja kat Les Copaque dia punya workflow lain sikit sebab director, storyboard semua in-house.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to communicate. Like benda belum siap pun saya boleh tengok storyboard. So it gets okay, the idea.
Kita punya macam sistem tu dah cantik.
Yeah.
Kita improve every time. Kita improve macam mana kita nak work better together kan. Takkanlah kita nak buat benda yang macam menyusahkan kita every year kan. Next year kita review balik apa yang perlu ditambah baik kan.
Sini senang, ada panggil director, director can you come here? Tak payah email back and forth, it's very troublesome. Dan saya boleh tengok kalau saya tengah free, how's the project going? Okay, he's still on storyboard, kita tengok storyboard. Okay, you can imagine as a composer dah boleh imagine what kind of music that can serve the scene. Dan lepas siap pun kita direct dengan uncle auntie aja. Itu yang saya suka dengan animation di Les Copaque punya workflow, senang.
Betul. Okay. David ada input ke?
Macam same. Similar. All depends on the client and you eventually figure out what the client wants, how fast they want it, and from there you will plan your execution lah. How big of a team you need, how smart of a team you need. Sometimes it's being smart about it. How you manage revisions.
Usually macam your team, is it like macam you ada like big team or small?
Depends on project basis. Sometimes, most of the times is smaller. Everybody is everywhere because everything is online kan. But yeah, I've dealt with crazy clients too, especially from China. They want things yesterday, and then we have to go back and forth also through emails, WhatsApp, WeChat. You name it lah, Line. Now got Signal. I got every single social media. Yeah.
Sebab you macam banyak pergi tempat different country kan.
And everybody do things differently.
Yeah.
Right. So and also different languages. So I have like translation and translators also.
Can you tell me what's your worst experience with the client? The worst client that you ever had experience with?
Worst client.
You remember any of it, or you have all clients?
I mean, the recent one is pretty bad lah.
Can you tell?
I'll tell you a story in Malay lah. Okay. Joker ni tua sampai like tak ada masa kan. So, mereka nak launch app dia Julai 23 kan. So Jacob ni dia tua. Saya kata mereka lah, Jacob tak free kan, dia tak free till August. Klien tapi show kita mau 22 Julai. Like, okay, kejap. Aku tengok kalender, ada mungkin like 2 hari free. Jacob free.
2 hari je.
2 hari je. Dan client, okay, kita bayar 3 kali lebih.
Wow.
Untuk dapat dia rekod dalam masa 2 hari. Dan demand dia macam ni. So I'm like, client, tak boleh lah. I need to cut your demand macam ni. Like we can only deliver 10%. And instead of 3 times, 6 times the amount. So you need to know how to negotiate lah. And after that, okay, from 6 we meet in the middle lah. Yeah, around 4.5.
Yeah.
So okay, dua-dua happy. Client demand also we meet in the middle. So at least manageable lah. I think manage expectations is the most important, right? And then from my end, I need to make sure everybody happy lah. Everybody deliver, from production, shooting, the team is like solid. Everybody is on the same location, and delivery, expectations are on point lah, and no revisions because we can't afford to have revisions, right?
Kita ada time frame.
Once they land, that's it. Once they shoot, 1 hour, like that's it, one take. And then copyright everything, we have to declare, so things are done way in advance lah. So I have 2 days to turn around the project.
Okay. 2 days no sleep lah.
That one is okay lah. So that one was like live streaming things, so whatever, right? I did another show, also China show, and a group of 12, so not that crazy. Tapi passport dia semua different negeri. I mean different negara. And all coming from different parts. So we have to like FedEx like passports lah from Bali to Australia lah. FedEx passport tau. And if the passport somehow end into the wrong hand, the wrong negara, that's it, whole tour cancel. Tour lasts for 6 months. Yeah, they miss one, they miss all. Stressed tau. So I'm like, this kind of project worth it or not for my mental capacity? So after that, I'm like, okay lah, I don't think I want to deal something like that again. But then, client want to pay more, so I'm like,
Yeah.
So sometimes you learn lah from experience. You know, unless you try, you never know. And through the experience, you meet new friends lah to go through all these hardships. So yeah, like turnaround time will never change. I think every client is crazy and eccentric in their own way, and they have to be that. You know. If not, they won't be famous lah. That's why they stand out, right? I think every artist is also gila in a very special way. So you have to just deal with it and learn how to be a people person and managing expectations lah.
Betul.
Have you ever have that experience like where you finish a project but never get paid?
No, because managing expectations. But obviously, if you're a startup, like you manage your expectations lah. Know that is normal in your country, kan? But having a lot of that, who knows whether you get paid or don't know. If your project gets number 1, who cares if you get paid? You still get number 1 project, and then after that, because of your number 1 project, you get 10 more. So if your expectation is that, it's fine. You know, what's 10,000 ringgit?
Good
right?
answer.
So managing expectation. So when you do these kind of projects, you know your client lah, KYC. You know your client, what's the benefit? You know, and if you know your client is a money gig, like you don't care, then upfront lah. And then you're on the win mah, right? Like they need you. But if you don't need them, but if you really still want the gig and you think has potential, the gig to grow, then close one eye lah. You go in with the expectation. So put your ego aside, think about the future.
Betul.
And you know everybody is human also. So there's a lot of gila people out there. So I just lower down your expectation and go in with an open opinion. And know, you know, some things happen. There's a lot of risks. There's a lot of uncertainties. But you know, it is what it is.
Okay, kita berbalik-balik kepada Upin Ipin. Okay, saya nak tanya Andrew lah. Masa buat pembikinan Upin Ipin Krisiman Tunggal kan, Hajah Ainun dia ada mention, dia kata dia memang nak gambus dalam score. So masa first you dengar tu, apa yang you rasa dan macam mana you counter benda tu?
Two stories lah. Luckily I ada buat tu syair like just solo gambus with the penyanyi kan, and then with the lyrics. So that set a foundation. So that's my first experiment, working with gambus. So I was a bit more confident after that. And so after that, like I visit you guys in Malaysia from US. So I think you only have the first 20 minutes of the movie. So I score all this demo kind of things, because you guys want to see the progress. And for us, usually we are a bit more reserved when your movie is not done. We try to figure out what's the next 40-50 minutes.
Betul.
We don't do A to Z also. Sometimes it's not locked picture, so we just divert our resource to focus more on the thematic material, arrangement or ideas kan. So we did some sketch. So when I brought in the score, and some spot not done, so when we meet the first day, I say, Andrew, so tomorrow maybe we show something to boss. Yeah, so I'm like, I have I wouldn't have nothing, but yeah, I didn't have much, so I lepas, like we hang out, I went home, I just write the music, whatever, nothing about gambus, I just want to write good music, which I think, I think my pro is I like to write slow and sweet, sad music. Do auntie know, you also know, and something more exciting can, I mean, sometimes your team can pick up, something more exciting, because Upin Ipin is, your audience is different, can. So for me, my approach is more towards adult audience, the way I write music. But then but somehow I learned a lot of things. So like the next day, when Auntie saw watch the film, she likes it. Of course, she says sedap, like so good. Okay, sedap, good, delicious. But then Auntie like sedap, and then she turned to me. So, mana gambus? Mana? I'm like shocked. I'm like, oh my god, this whole time. And then I was like looking at this guy like Falk from soundtrack, right? You didn't tell me. Because for me, we want to do our best. We want to show the, but and then I tried to be smart lah, managing humans, right? So that point I thought Auntie may fire me or so whatever is fine, but I tried to save myself. I tell Auntie, no problem, okay, because I don't know how to do it, but I'll just say okay, yes, okay, maybe we will just so I was in my mind I was thinking how to do it technically. Maybe I put the gambus, like follow all the notes of the orchestra playing, like the staccato, legato of the strings, and then the volume for the gambus put all the way down, so it doesn't get too busy lah, because we don't want the gambus, because gambus is a very strong instrument. It jumps out very ethnical, flavorful kan. I think
sebab macam Auntie reason dia sebab dia suka ada sentuhan Nusantara tu.
The
bila
narrative
macam takkanlah macam every time kita nak dengar atau kita nak buat music tu semua sama macam Hollywood kan. Kita kena ada that macam something yang different yang kita bawa bila orang dengar, dia something new dan interesting.
Memang this was a breakthrough, but I just do hope people, it's fine, we will have more exposure in the future lah when you come up with more movies. So
dia agak challenging sebab apa? Sebab first time kan kita gabungkan these two.
For Gambus player too.
Macam
we had the session with them,
macam Gambus memang kita record dekat sini Malaysia, and then kita record orkestra dekat Boston kan, dengan Prague kan, and then kita mix dekat sini. So memang banyak tempat lah ni.
Like the opening for Sakti for the Gambus is really catchy. Like when you really feature it. That's why I was trying to find a place to feature things with the score, but it was good. It was a good balance. We find the tone for it.
The Gambus player is very good. Bob.
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 It's Bob.
Bob Wahid.
Istana Budaya.
Istana Budaya.
Okay.
Untuk mic pula. Tadi kita sentuh pasal macam mana mic macam mana Andrew bekerja dengan orkestra kan. You at KST, Peping Chris Memang Tunggal. Macam you pula, you memang directly involved dalam kita punya lagu tema Chris Sakti. So macam mana you buat daripada scratch?
Saya masa saya baru masuk, saya kira saya masih lagi beginner, orang baru lagi. So saya tak expect saya akan involve dalam movie projek besar. Orang penting aja buat.
Tak ada. Dekat sini kita bagi semua chance tu. Semua
dia punya cerita dia agak macam first Andrew ada, saya ingat lagi Andrew ada submit beberapa demo dan nanti dia kata dia kurang puas, tak suka.
Tak success. Not successful.
So tiba-tiba saya dapat arahan dari Zaki, kita meeting dan kita diberi task untuk buat lagu. Saya fikir buat saya Cina tak dengar lagu Melayu tapi kena buat lagu Melayu. So
itu yang special.
Saya punya mindset saya datang kerja sini, saya just do scoring is my specialty. Dan bila saya dibagi task untuk buat lagu, dengan buat lagu Melayu pula yang saya kurang masak dengan lagu Melayu. Saya cubalah, saya tak nak kata I cannot do it, I don't know how to do it. So I try to set my mindset, yes I can do it, but how? Aku nak macam growth mindset, tak ada fixed mindset. Say no. Kalau kita selalu set mindset kita no, dan otak kita shut down, tak boleh buat. Kalau kita kata dengan kita sendiri, kata yes, how can, yes but how we can do it. Dan kita punya otak akan, kita punya mind akan try to find a solution to it. I try lah buat, dan masa tu saya dengar banyak lagu Melayu, M. Nasir, research apa macam cara style dia. Lepas tu Auntie suka Gambus, dan dalam scene tu saya faham yang lagu tu akan dimainkan dalam pertemuan Upin dan Ipin, sebab Upin dan Ipin masa tu dia orang terpisah. Dan part tu adalah Nahkoda Ragam perform dalam menari satu festival celebration, dan more or less saya dapat imagine apa lagu tu diperlukan, apa yang diperlukan dalam lagu itu. Dan saya masa tu saya start buat. Saya buat, long story short, dah ada satu demo kita nyanyi. Sampai saya dengar balik, this demo macam ini anti mesti tak suka punya lah. Jadi sangat-sangat masa tu demo, the first demo saya sangat remember ini tak jadi ni, tapi saya buat lah sebab saya kan ni first lagu saya buat. Tapi yang saya surprise, anti kata dia suka. Saya pun rasa pelik.
Kita ada macam a few draft kan daripada different composer. So the one that Aunty chose is you punya.
Ya, ada 3 ke 4 masa tu. Wah. I think it's
tapi dia sangat draft lagi lah, memang different.
Bagi saya ini panggil term beginner's luck. Saya tak beginner's luck. Dan masa tu saya start on work on it, cari different menyanyi. Lagu tu dia tiba-tiba dia nampak dia punya form lah. Dia punya, boleh jadi sedap lagu ni. Dan lagu pertama Melayu ni yang saya buat, inilah lagu pertama Melayu yang saya cipta dengan lirik oleh Aunty Haja Ainun. Dan saya rasa saya belajar banyak benda dalam satu lagu ni.
Lagu first you, and then lagu tu hit. Dekat YouTube 30 juta kot. Besar tu untuk local scene kan.
Kira nasib dalam some way it connect lah, tak tahu macam mana. Dan sekarang saya mula belajar buat lagu banyak lah. Lepas tu dari situ saya start banyak buat lagu Melayu untuk Ipin, untuk series.
Bagi saya lagu Chris Sakti ni, dan juga lagi salah satu lagu Boy Laju-Laju yang dihasilkan oleh Ayib. Salah seorang komposer. Dia sangat special sebab lagu ni dia banyak sentuhan. Dia bukan di Malaysia saja, tapi dihasilkan oleh anak Malaysia, tapi sentuhannya sangat international. Sebab yang buat lagu dia Mike, dia punya penulis lirik dia Haja Ainun, sangat mendalam, sangat bagus lirik dia. Dan kemudian di-arrange oleh dari Japan, Sachiko Miyano. Lepas tu orkestra pula kita main di Boston kan. So macam celuk. That's why that song saya rasa hit.
Ya, kalau Zaki tanya saya kalau lagu ni boleh jadi final product macam ni, saya memang tak boleh imagine kalau dulu.
Everything was perfection after.
Sebab apa? Sebab kita percaya dengan apa yang kita buat. That's why kita finish it. Kan? Sebab benda tu macam selalunya benda-benda macam ni orang akan anggap benda tu impossible. Kan?
Ya, kredit untuk ni Aunty Haja Ainun sebab saya tak tahu apa yang dia dengar pada lagu tu tiba-tiba jadi macam ni. Saya tak tahu lah apa Fira. Kalau tanya saya, lagu ni memang takkan bestnya. Tapi tiba-tiba jadi ni.
Tapi bagi saya memang yang Aunty, yang orang kata idea Aunty memang sangat bagus. Tapi team yang kita bersama ni pun kena bagus. Kalau tidak hasil takkan bagus juga. Kan?
Now we need to hear the demo.
Demo? Boleh. Nanti
someone will find it.
Mike ada simpan.
Dia dah
Hidden somewhere in your
sebab dia ada dia ada that draft.
The thumb drive under the bed.
It's very cringy.
Boleh buat comparison like the YouTube video.
Dia yang best ni sebab bila kita gabungkan syair yang dihasilkan oleh Andrew sebelum that song,
the connection was good.
Macam how we connect the macam syair story dengan the lagu punya story.
Bob and also the lyrics kan. At first I thought it was impossible. What kind of lyrics should we? Because I was writing my own lyrics also. I was like, banyak orang involved too. LA pun ada. They want to drag Yuna in also. Banyak story lah.
Macam penyanyi pun macam Fakhur Razi kan. Penyanyi pun dari Brunei. So banyak involvement. Macam tadi kita cerita pasal Chris Sakti kan, penghasilan lagu tema. So waktu tu juga kita sibuk dengan preparation dengan recording di Boston kan. Bagi saya itu pengalaman yang sangat bagus macam untuk saya dengan team yang first time join. Sebab
memang,
kenapa kita kena pergi sana, sebab kita nak tahu macam mana penghasilan orkestra, live orkestra ni. Tak kisah di mana, tapi kita dapat di Boston. So Andrew lah yang lead the team, right? I mean anak Malaysia yang lead the orchestra team.
Yeah, banyak orang lah. So basically we work with contractor kan, orchestra contractor. So that's the company I work with. I'm the composer. So my tanggungjawab is to make sure once we have the score approved or the demo approved kan, we need to make it into orchestra. So it's not only me that I compose memang, but we have a team, and then Thomas, he's from France, and then I have a few more what you call orchestrator, but it didn't work out lah, so I orchestrate everything on my own. The only person that helped me with the orchestration is Thomas. He's also very very good composer. Dah dengar the Mickey Mouse, he did the Mickey Mouse orchestra for Disney in France. Yeah, so I can say we're solid team lah. And then we brought him here.
Thomas pun ada datang sini. I jadi tour guide dia bawa PLCC.
Dude, the whole day. He's a very nice guy. Yeah, Thomas, I think you kenal, Mike pun kenal. Yeah, so we need all these people because then we have a different perspective of things. Like so for us the output was crazy because I was moving from Boston to LA. That was the and then I told my old previous agent, Soundtrack, right? We were not working for this time because this, like whatever. And then October 2018 kan, where's the score? Where is it? Mana? So,
yelah, waktu tu movie dah rap kan.
Yeah, but banyak movies like this also. So I'm like, okay.
Biasalah kita music, kita at the end kan.
Yeah,
ujung-ujung.
Yeah, it's like we need to put in theater soon, Bila, and it's like recording Bila first week of January. I'm like, habis lah. Like, where's the other cut, other scene? How many minutes? Where's the movie? Is it done? So that
at that time kita memang work very closely together, right? Sebab dia every week or macam 2 weeks, dia punya timing dia mesti berubah.
Yeah, let me tell you how many people in my team. More than yours. Yeah, so we have five under me. So, but at least we pump out the music like 2 to 3 minutes a day, sometimes 4 minutes. Sleep 3 hours. But that's the industry doing film, because sometimes they think we can just do it overnight.
Yeah.
Like David always tell me, I want it yesterday.
David dia laju.
He's
because
hard
I'm
on me.
always like on the other side of the world. So when people are sleeping or clients sleeping, working. So it's like best of both worlds lah.
Yeah. So my experience, yes, it's a very tough job because during that time also, my grandpa passed away. I had to fly back to Malaysia one day, fly back to France. So Upin Ipin, the score I composed in from Boston to LA, and then to Spain, to France. So I have all this touch of location. Yeah. So
that's why dia punya touch music pun sedap.
Maybe so. You guys will come to Europe, and then we travel.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay. Sebab kat sini pun
Maybe.
banyak kerja.
No, take a break. Have to take a break. Lepas tu we take a break. It was good. Yeah.
Okay, nanti kita plan. Okay. Okay. And then after kita finish all the macam orchestra side, they move to my side lah. Mixing dekat OCP Bangkok kan. I mean that time so crazy jugalah. Macam you finish your work and then my turn. I'm going crazy too.
Without Zaki, there's no movie also.
No, I mean
The output.
I mean,
DCP kan.
the LCP is about it's all about teamwork.
Yeah.
Dia bukan macam rasa seorang entitled kan. Macam sebab macam contohnya macam at that time kan, we were in Bangkok and then we review the movie, and then aunty datang kan, and then aunty kata dia kata kenapa tak betulkan this part. I mean waktu tu mixing final. Dia cakap kenapa tak betul ke? Macam betul, dia kata nak tak nak kena buat juga. And then at that time macam alamak macam mana ni. Lepas tu dia macam tak apa nanti lepas tu kita keluar, and then I contact Mike. Macam apa yang contact Mike, macam Mike, remember your trailer that you did kan. And then you pun surprise kan. Dia macam remember the trailer you did, macam yang aunty suka sangat tu. So I want that file. you send to me now. Kan ingat tak? I mean at that time macam crazy, and then you send to me, and then we replace the file, and then auntie happy. I mean yang penting kita tahu macam mana nak solvekan problem. Tak kisah benda tu orang kata takes like 1 hour. We still need to finish.
Good call actually, Zaki, because I mean, the producer.
Yeah, I mean bila Andrew pula, bila dia tengok time premiere, dia cakap why this part is different.
Memang I'm okay lah, to be honest. The not that part is okay, but I was like, why all the timing is because and then later on I asked Zaki, so what happens? Zaki said, oh man, you're not there, and then we don't know where to put it. But I really respect you, Zaki, because you know my music well. You know where to put it. Because normally in Thailand, so when you bring the music, if you don't have the time sheet, the time where it starts, right? Those guys, they tembak and it's so bad. Yeah. It's like your music, everything, the timing, everything off is like, it's normal. And but I was happy because it's like, okay, at least Zaki know agak-agak where it is.
Yeah, sebab kita work benda dengan benda tu like 4 or 5 years, right?
We have cue sheet kan usually, and then they exactly precisely, but we didn't have that because I wanted to be there, but they say don't fly there.
Yeah, so dekat sana kita like 1 week kita duduk sana, and then kita sit down together with macam OCP team, work together. Diorang pun sangat happy dengan kita punya work. Diorang sampai cakap apa yang kita buat ni, music effects, apa yang kita hasilkan ni, dia cakap sangat bagus. Diorang sampai diorang gunakan kita punya work file, ditunjukkan dekat dia punya staff. I mean at that time kita macam at that time baru dia macam hit kat kita macam sebenarnya kita punya output ni memang dah go international kan. Macam dia rasa selalu kita buat macam we want the best. Then bila people talk about it, baru kita sedar kita going that way. Kita tak cakap kita yang paling bagus lah kan, sebab kita semua learning kan. Tapi bila kita dapat that input, I mean it's good for us untuk kita move forward. Kan. Okay. So untuk itu yang dekat cerita panjang pula kan, dekat mixing tu. So next one sebenarnya kita buat OST album kan. I mean benda tu memang kita memang nak sangat buat. I ingat lagi Andrew memang macam kalau boleh nak buat lepas movie kan, tapi at that time kita tak cukup resource, right? Kita focus on movie first, and then after that baru kita masuk. Ingat tak I contact you nak buat album, and then baru masuk David, sebab David cakap boleh masuk Grammy ni.
Got deadline.
Deadline that one was crazy lah. I mean kita siapkan juga waktu tu like for a few days kot. I mean kita siapkan and then send the file kan. Kita break down all the score music tu, yang one movie tu kita breakdown jadi 55 lagu lah. Kita dah breakdown banyak tu.
Banyak for soundtrack, for the score.
Andrew selalu cakap macam dia tak pernah buat music sebanyak ni dalam cerita.
Usually not that much, even the Raya whatever. No.
But kenapa kita kena follow orang kan? Kita buat cara kita sendiri.
Yeah, that's why our own way.
Okay, so saya nak tahu macam David punya penglibatan lah dalam OST ni.
I think we should apply every year. The Grammys, it's a stepping stone, one step at a time. But obviously, like 98% is Americans now. So at least we get our name in the ballot, one thing at a time, and hopefully things improve. But yeah, I think it's a great move that we did. And what was your question again?
Macam you punya involvement dalam OST ni, for me macam kita boleh hasilkan album, tapi at that time juga macam you cakap kita boleh try for Grammy, right? I mean
because I think the duration time still okay lah to apply, and there's a big press, you guys just released the movie, the revenue is really good, so it's a good PR around it.
Yeah.
And we give it a shot. You know?
Ya, betul. Kita cuba, kita orang kata dapat tercalon ke tak ke.
And between all the academy members, they see your name in there. You know, so it's like a good first impression. They click play, they have to listen to it. So, you know, 5 more times
Ya,
to go
kita
lah.
kena cuba lagi sampai berjaya.
And this kind of things you just never know.
Betul.
You never know, you know, one thing will lead to another.
Ya, dia sangat bagus sebab macam most people dia orang macam selesa dengan local punya work kan. Macam masa I buat finishkan album soundtrack ni, people yang part of it macam the music publisher kan, people that from there, diorang cakap diorang sangat bangga sebab ada company yang sanggup push untuk benda ni. Sebab selalunya
soundtrack kan.
Ya betul. Sebab selalunya untuk macam ke award macam ni, kita macam mengalah. Macam kita macam selesa dengan local scene saja. Apa salahnya kita bercuba?
I think great thing David pushed for it. Also, we all learn how to do things the right way. Not to say proper way, but we document everything because we did a lot of documentation, like the publisher, you know, the composer. So everybody gets acknowledgement, and we, you know, titling, you nama the tracks, and then Zaki give names. So like language of your title has to be right, you know. So you know they want to see everything. So there's no hanky panky.
And you can see the process,
Yeah,
how to
betul,
submit.
betul.
Same with the Oscars too. Like
So,
belum cuba, belum tahu.
I rasa sebab David lah.
So next time is easier lah. We already know what to do from A to Z, you know.
It's hard. Macam the process is difficult.
But Upin Ipin never getting old, so we can always apply.
Masa kan kita work each other kan, Mike, macam I tanya, macam mana nak orang kata isi dokumen ni lah, banyaknya request dia. Tapi this is our first time kan, we learn a lot lah. Kan? Dia macam benda ni kena isi benda ni sangat detail everything kan, kena. So bagi I bagus sebab in future bila kita buat another movie, memang ada banyak dah beratur kan benda nak buat ni. So
do better.
Maybe
ini Upin Ipin the musical pun record lah.
yang
there's
tu
a musical section.
kita boleh propose. Bagus juga kan musical kalau kita push kan. Sebab kita
Grammy kan, Grammy and Oscar pun banyak pelik-pelik punya, out of the blue, you never know, get nominated and menang. I can show you a lot of examples after this, but banyak, so you just never know.
Berkenaan royalty music kan, sebab benda ni bagi saya dia terlalu subjektif kan, macam different country different rules. So boleh explain macam secara macam pendek tak macam mana how it works royalty music ni, sebab you guys dah kerja kat luar.
Just gotta hire the right people to collect for you lah.
Okay.
But in Malaysia you guys have MACP kan, so international you have BMI, SCAP. That's for the publishing side of things. Then after that kan you have masters, right, sing licensing. Once things go on, let's say airplanes kan, bila Upin Ipin di JetBlue ke, United Airlines ke, Alaska Airlines, bila you cut deals with those situations, then your song gets played there, then you dapat master recording fee. So company macam tu, ada company called Sound Exchange yang collect untuk you. So you just want to make sure you cover all grounds lah, you register all sides so you're protected. And from a songwriting point, the rates are getting better, you know, from Spotify and iTunes and all. So I think things are good in terms of songwriters that get involved in these songs. So not bad lah. I think things are getting better in the streaming world, because last time mana ada streaming kan.
Ya betul, sebab macam bila you cakap pasal Spotify, saya terlupa tadi bila kita cakap pasal kita punya album, kita ada letak dekat Spotify kan, kalau ada sesiapa yang
sekarang ada banyak
try dengar kan, sebab benda tu mudah. Kita mudahkan listener, and then diorang pun boleh nak dengar dia orang boleh subscribe.
Just stream.
Stream.
Ada Tidal.
So dekat
Apple Music.
Dekat YouTube Let's Copaque pun memang kita ada letak full album OST kalau nak enjoy. So senang kan, ada banyak platform.
Yeah, I can give my input also.
Boleh.
And then this will change the future for everyone. I think it's a good, healthy relationship. Like royalties can be one thing. Sometimes you don't need royalties also. There's situation you don't need royalty because the project, they pay a lot of money, or you do it for a relationship and you don't make too much noise. And I get this advice from my mentor. Your first 2-3 movie, no royalty is fine, because a lot of clients, they also like buy out. You call it buy out, right? So you finish the work, ciao. Don't come to me for court, don't make noise. The same thing like when you get hired in a company. But that's I'm going to share quickly also. So when you first sign the contract, you watch the contract carefully. That's all. If you sign it because you just want the money now and then later you make noise, then you have no rights for it. Royalty, it doesn't work like that. The reason why we have royalty is to create a healthy relationship, with let's say people who pays the money and people who create. Sometimes you want to feel like everyone owns a bit of the project, and then they'll push the person who's paying and the person who's creating to create more things. So sometimes, like for in-house composers, for film and TV, usually royalty is, you get royalties. But for video games, it's very hard to get royalties because you compose, you want royalty, but what? So it means when you play the game, right, you replay the game again, you make money. So it's very hard. So there's no royalties. So in-house composer for video games, usually they just salary based, in contract. Like let's say in-house, if there's a business strategy, so sometimes you can just fully buy out, so the author, everything's the company, the publisher, everything, that's normal also. But let's say if you want to go to awards like Grammy and stuff, it's going to be really difficult because they always want to identify the creator, because it's for branding, who's the composer, who are the people involved, and then so that the academy member, when you show yourself, like David said, in the party, it's easier. If you show company, nobody cares. It's the human being. So that's why you need to have the cue sheet and everything. So the other thing is, if let's say you want the staff morale, like creators, you want to keep the composer. Like sometimes you say, okay, maybe this time just this much royalties, the publisher own 80%, and then you try to incentivize people, and then they work, and then you say, I'll give you more royalties the next 5 years or 10 years. So it's more about incentive. It's about negotiation. There's nothing about making money. Sometimes royalty is peanut, unless you do Marvel, right? Then you can make big noise if they're not paying royalties. But if so that's my take, and then can go really far with that lah.
But then in America, royalties sometimes are not just for creatives. Like managers get royalties.
Oh yeah.
Just because they step in the room. Artists get royalties even though they don't write songs. Sometimes.
Tapi yang penting kena write their names lah kan. Walaupun dia orang tak involved.
Usually it's all negotiated before lah. If you want like a big A-star celebrity to sing on your song, you need to give her like X% of royalties lah. If not, she won't sing your song. There's like so many other songs that's being pitched to the artist.
Ya, itu yang bagi saya topik yang menarik lah untuk kita share pada audience kan. Sometimes dia orang tak tahu macam mana, macam mungkin dia orang tahu di Malaysia MSCP, tapi how about US punya market?
I would like to add something on the royalty issue because dalam Malaysia ni ada orang tak faham, banyak orang tak faham royalty and ownership is two different concept. Contohnya dalam museum Louvre museum kat France tu, dan Mona Lisa siapa penulis, siapa pelukis dia Da Vinci. So biasanya royalty ini, Mona Lisa ni sebenarnya museum Louvre punya milik dia. Tapi royalty ni dia akan macam yang Andrew kata lah, we have to read the contract. What's the contract? If this Da Vinci, this Mona Lisa belongs to the Louvre Museum, but Da Vinci is the artist. So kita tengok contract. Biasanya ownership portrait Mona Lisa belongs to Louvre. The contract is maybe like royalty akan bayar 100% kepada artist, or we divide the royalty 50% to Louvre or 50% to Da Vinci, contoh lah. So it's the concept we have to understand. Royalty tu kita bagi pada dia, tengok kita baca contract. So yang kita tak faham adalah kalau kita contohnya kita negotiate, kita buat projek ni, Andrew kata this is a buyout. Buyout maksudnya royalty tu akan milik kepada Louvre sahaja. Dia tak akan bagi Da Vinci. So, sebab Louvre mungkin dia akan bayar high amount of money to own the music. That means 100% is, even the royalty is milik museum tu. So kalau kita negotiate dalam amount yang lain, okay, I give you this small amount of money, or this is a commission work, tak ada free of charge, but you keep all the royalty, pun ada case macam tu. So contohnya Da Vinci we get all royalty, but Louvre Museum tak ada dapat royalty. Contohnya macam tu lah.
Yeah, memang ada project royalty is just the salary. So I don't take any, like in America, again, crazy place like with David, you know, like some composer kan, they have a house already, they have money, you know, they did big movies kan. So negotiation, there's a movie they really like, but they don't have enough budget. So what the composer tell the agent, the business, the director, the producer, I'm not going to take a single cent, but whatever you guys earn in the cinema, give me a few %. Because it's a risk lah, for it's crazy, you don't do it for some bad movies, but it was a big movie, so there's a way to do that also. That's also called royalty. So it's just a tool, Zaki.
Okay, sekarang kita dah sampai macam ke penghujung kan. Saya ada soalan terakhir. Macam biasalah kan. Apa yang you guys nampak future music di Malaysia ni? Dan yalah, macam kita mesti pandang ke depan kan. Apa yang kita expect future? Apa yang nampak kita ni, future kita macam mana dalam Malaysia, dan ada anything yang perlu di-add, ditambah baik ke? Siapa nak start dulu? David?
I think things are going in the right direction. You know, first we're having this podcast, so props up to Les Copaque and like everybody who started this idea. I believe sharing our knowledge is key and it's very easy. Lebih senang memiliki knowledge. You just got to type in podcast, you know, Les Copaque, straight away you can hear all of our stories. You don't need to meet me in person. Even if you want, you can DM me. So things are easier. This is like
DM. Nanti ada tertera lah.
And if you want composing, you know, you can DM them. If you want a job, you can DM Zaki. You know, so things are way easier. There's no such thing as like, oh, you know, I have to submit like resume. I mean, still is, but I think knowledge is everywhere.
Betul. Sekarang ni macam everything is macam mudah untuk approach kan. So terpulang pada diri kita.
Yeah, no such thing as like, you know, lazy lah, cannot do lah, cannot reach lah. Like there's no more excuses. You just gotta do your homework and find out.
I like that. There's no like more excuses.
Betul.
You want to work in online, I mean you want to work in America, also same thing. Just DM, LinkedIn, everywhere got. You can act as though you're in LA. If anybody overseas want a job in Malaysia, same thing. Just DM, act as though you're from Shah Alam. Yeah, and maybe they'll ask you to Zoom, and then if you get the job, then you faster fly with AirAsia, you know, or something. Just come for a weekend. But yeah, sometimes most jobs are remotely done. So I think opportunity is always there. So for Malaysians, if all 4 of us can make it, you know, if Ipin can go to America, which is like half across the other side of the world, I think, you know, things are getting better.
Yeah, itu yang kita nak dengar.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike?
Pendapat saya sebenarnya, saya bukan rasa saya ni shock sendirilah, tapi bila kita dengar soundtrack Ipin Keris Yang Tunggal, kita dengar live orchestra, dan saya rasa sejujurnya tak ada lagi filem lain yang buat betul-betul recording, betul-betul rearrange, betul compose betul-betul, dan tak ada lagi filem lain yang buat macam kita. Tapi pada masa yang sama saya faham juga filem sekarang dia nak kurangkan bajet. Bukan senang, bukan sebab nak buat macam tu orkestra memang kos yang tinggi, dan bukan semua filem boleh buat macam tu. Dan sebenarnya saya rasa kita salah satu set benchmark yang tinggi. Tapi saya harap pada future filem blockbuster dapat buat a proper film orchestra yang betul-betul standard. Dan saya rasa apa yang kita buat tu standard international. Because if you listen to the mixing, for arrangement, for orchestration, memang technical semua proper punya. Bukan main bantai jawab.
Betul. Boleh kalau tak percaya boleh cuba dengar lah. Yang macam kat platform yang saya cakap tadi kan. Bukannya kita nak menunjuk tapi kita nak kita nak bagi tahu yang kita pun boleh buat. I mean it's possible. Kan?
Yeah, I think to add the cherry on top, of course the OST, right, have a touch of even David. I think he's one of the one of the new breed of music producer in Malaysia that's going to be very successful. And then we have touch of Mark Satoshi kan, he works on Pacific Rim, Mickey Mouse, whatever it is. Even soundtrack, of course, kudos to them. They did Final Fantasy, right? It's all in the blood of this soundtrack. So I think even to get acknowledged, it still take time. And I think with proper, great ideas, leadership, management, and pumping out more projects. And you don't need orchestra for all soundtrack, but with the good leadership, good ideas, kind of like Gambus, or let's say even the whole soundtrack with real, just cello instrument, good samples, just good music, good taste, good conversation like what we're having. It already is. We're the future, man. Right.
Okay. Saya rasa satu input yang sangat bagus hari ni. Banyak benda yang saya rasa ramai yang akan lebih tahulah mendalam lagi tentang muzik dan orkestra. Apa yang saya rasa saya boleh tekankan ada a few keys yang you guys banyak ulang, which is leadership. Kalau nak jadi yang bagus kan dalam industri, first leadership, and then communication,
Network.
Be humble.
Kawan-kawan.
Be humble. Ya, macam orang kata kita kena ada that sifat kan, supaya benda-benda tu yang akan bawa kita lebih jauh, bukan sahaja talent kita. Kan? Okay. LEPAK podcast ini ditaja oleh Muzik Bliss Sdn Bhd. Mereka merupakan penaja utama untuk podcast ini. Kalau kita tengok ni headphone ni, ni salah satu headphone yang sangat bagus lah untuk industri kan, yang kita semua guna, iaitu Beyer Dynamic DT770 Pro. Okay. So headphone ni dia sangat bagus sebab dia punya pad dia ni memang sangat selesa dipakai. Kan dia macam kain, macam dia tak berpeluh kan.
Peluh, ya.
Lembut dan boleh pakai pada jangka masa panjang. Tak rasa sakit.
Betul. Dia seharian pun boleh pakai kan. Sebab kita bekerja selalu memang kena pakai headphone untuk monitor kan. Lagi mixing. Memang bagus lah benda ni. Betul, Andrew?
Ya, I ada DT1990 level up.
Nampak? Ya. Okay. Kepada sesiapa yang berminat nak dapatkan headphone Beyer Dynamic ni, boleh visit website Muzik Bliss seperti yang tertera di description. Dan jangan lupa guna promo code LCP Beyer off 50 pun sama juga, tertera di description. Okay. So bila guna promo code ni akan dapat RM50 off lah. Lepas tu dan lagi satu, dia terhad kepada 100 orang yang pertama sahaja. So kena cepat-cepat lah kalau nak dapat diskaun kan. Cepat dapatkan sekarang di website Muzik Bliss dan guna promo code untuk dapatkan RM50 off. Co-sponsor untuk LEPAK podcast kita ni adalah Safelyte. Okay. Kalau kita tengok produk ni, kita boleh cuba sama-sama. Dia produk larutan atau dikenali sebagai Enolite, iaitu bahan antiseptik yang mampu membasmi kuman tanpa alkohol, mesra alam dan tidak bertoksik. Banyak ni fungsi dia.
Tak ada bau.
Yelah, tak ada alkohol.
Tak ada bau.
Lepas tu dia selamat digunakan oleh kanak-kanak dan haiwan juga. Haiwan peliharaan. Sebab okay, yang paling penting mudah je. Sembuh-sembuh terus hilang kuman. Okay. Dan juga kepada siapa yang berminat dan dapatkan produk Safelyte ni, boleh layari website safelyte.my dan guna promo code Safelyte LC10 untuk dapatkan diskaun 10% setiap pembelian. Okay, jangan lupa dapatkan. Okay, terima kasih semua. Hope kita jumpa lagi.
Yeah, thank you Zaki, thank you Mike.
Okay,
Part 2 soon.
okay.
Okay. Our next movie.
Alright.
Oh, his next movie. His
Banyak
next
dia
movie.
banyak beratur ni movie ni. So
Your musical.
who knows, macam
Yeah.
kita akan bekerjasama lagi.
Yeah, yeah. Next is your musical. So
Okay. Terima kasih semua.
Thank you semua.